Yeah. All right. Let those notifications go out, everybody. Okay. This is another message so necessary because I had to remember it too. That's right. We can't put limitations on God, y'all. Don't do that. The devil would love to trick you into doing that. So while those notifications go out, let me go ahead and I know there's a lot of buzz going out there on the world stage. Sure. And I know some of y'all are patiently, thank you, awaiting responses on Instagram and elsewhere, but thank you. Some of y'all are. And we'll go ahead and let those notifications roll, baby. Yes. All right, everybody, welcome. This is, whew, I know it's August already. Oh boy. Yeah, but don't put limitations on God. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. And yeah, a big part of that is thinking nutrition wise, okay? Thinking nutrition wise now in God's reality. And so we can't put limitations on God with that either. And so, yeah, he revealed some things to me that I bring to you all about radio frequency. Because remember, RF symptoms are blamed on food. And that's a trick of the enemy to keep people from eating the necessary foods they need for proper nutrition. And it took me a little while to accept that, you know what? Yeah, God's the one talking here. God's the one instructing me to do this and to do that. God's the one telling me, test that theory, do what you got to do. He said, I'm going to show you something. I was like, okay. Whenever God says that, he's like, I'm going to show you something. We better pay attention. And don't put limitations on him. Because, like I said yesterday, I shared briefly that some good things are happening. And, you know, I'm joyful. Because I did not realize that being so strict, yeah, that was putting limitations on God. I was being very strict. Oh, too strict, if you will, with the blood type diet. He told me that. He said, listen, that's fine. He said, but your whole life, you pretty much on and off were on the blood type diet already because of the way we normally would eat. It's a matter of the types of foods now. He said, all right. He said, so you've done the dietary reset. He said, I need you to add a couple of things back in because of the nutrient factors that the enemy tricked me into thinking I couldn't eat because of this particular discomfort or that discomfort. Now that I know those discomforts are from radio frequency poisoning, well then, that just changes everything. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to deviate from the blood type diet like I did before. No. He said it just simply means we're going to be allowed in moderation, we're going to be allowed a little bit of wheat here and there. Because there's B vitamin, other nutrients that the body needs. Remember, God designed our body Okay, y'all, chosen one. God designed our bodies to get the most nutrition from our foods. The devil knows this. And that's why the devil wants to trick a lot of people into thinking that they can't eat certain foods anymore because of an RF symptom. And so I was like, oh, wow. I mean, the more that sinks in, the more I go, whoa, wow, and wow. You know, it's a God wowing season, let me tell you. And so I was putting limitations on God. And so that's why he told me this is the message today, because some of y'all might need this now too. Okay? In fact, he said something you do because you're still putting limitations on God. And God's like, why? Because with all things being possible with God, okay, then we got to take those limitations off. Because, you know, there's nothing wrong with being strict as far as watching the ingredient list of the foods, okay, that we're buying. All right, now I know that if we go out to eat at a restaurant, we might inadvertently get something like corn syrup or whatever unknowingly, but it's not going to be on purpose. When we go grocery shopping, I read labels. Been doing that for years. That's a tip for somebody. Okay, read labels, because there's, you know, you want to watch out for an excessive of added sugars. You really want to try to stay away from that. But right, if anything, as long as it doesn't have any corn syrup, fructose, high fructose corn syrup solids, watch out for that one, and things like that, artificial. Yeah, make sure it doesn't have anything artificial in it, because God did not design our bodies to digest that stuff. God designed our bodies to digest the all-natural stuff first. Okay, that was revealed to me early on. He said, no, your body are not enzymatically designed to digest synthetics and artificials. It's always going to go for the all-natural stuff first. It's always going to go for the all-natural sugars first. And then once those enzymes are used up, if you've got a bunch of corn syrup sitting around in there, it's going to hang out. While consuming more, you got to be careful, because it'll take a while. I mean, eventually the body might break it down, sure, but it's going to take a while, because if we're continuing to consume a particular food that's got both cane sugar and corn syrup, well, it's the body going to digest the cane sugar first. Yeah, and part of that I learned during my master's program, forensic toxicology. Okay, so this is not just God talking. Basic scientific facts here too. And you can research it. It's not a secret. It is not a secret, but we got to not put limitations on God. God said, don't you put limits on me. He said, I can do all, because I am the all. God says, I am. I am what I am. I am who I am. He said, I can do all when you trust and believe. Remember, Jesus talks about that too. That we got to just trust and believe and know that, and God guiding our step. And like I said yesterday, let's drop it back in the comments again one more time. Just a little at a time. Just a little at a time. Because that's all it takes. That's what God told me. He said, I got you reintroducing the body to this. But let me tell you, as soon as he had me doing that, I noticed immediately within the first 2 days, big digestive good stuff. I went, oh, I felt that. Oh, very cool. And I said, okay. And so I did the research. And it's out there. Just a little at a time. Thank you. It's out there. And we want to remember that wheat, there's claiming that it may improve digestion. Well, guess what? I confirm that, because I had not eaten wheat in years. I'm not even going to count how many years. It's been a long time. Yeah, but in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. Remember, God says, do not do things in excess. In other words, don't sit there, especially if you have not been eating a particular food for the nutrients for several years. You want just a little at a time, because remember, Jesus multiplies. Okay, all it takes just a little bit. And so, for example, for a quick lunch, I had my fruit tray. Yeah, see, we're still doing the healthier eating part here, because it's all about getting them nutrients. And so I noticed something, that the digestive process happening. And I said, okay, I see. But he had me start out with just a couple of different items. And then when I went on a business lunch yesterday, he had me get a couple of items, because before I went to buy any bread, there's a restaurant that served the little, I think it's pumpernickel or what have you, small pieces. He said, I want you to test your theory with just a couple, just a little at a time, just a couple slices. Glory be to God, just a little at a time. And that's all it took for me to confirm the theory that we good in moderation. So, yeah, okay. I was looking at the whole wheat option as well, and some of those do have lower sodium counts than the actual white bread. I've noticed that. So we're still, and yeah, fruit, pineapple, grapes, cherry, tomatoes, a banana on a plate to graze with that, and then I had 2 Triscuit, low sodium, yep, just a hint of salt, 2 Triscuit crackers with a little bit of cheese, and so I was still a little bit hungry, and I had some chicken from yesterday, and so it was just enough for about a half a sandwich, and I ate about half of that, and I was full, and that was it, on a croissant, and that's it. But yeah, we don't want to put limitations on God, and that's what I was doing. I was putting limitations on God. Again, it doesn't mean that we are going to go back to eating like we used to. No. Okay? It's just God said, I need you to put a few things back in. Whey protein happens to be the other one, for anyone who's wondering. I said a couple of things. Some wheat for the nutrient in the wheat. Oh, there's tons of them. I did the research. I said, oh my goodness. Magnesium, potassium, calcium, folate, your B vitamins. Oh my gosh. A lot of necessary minerals inside wheat that our bodies need for nutrients. And I said, okay. All right. And so, yeah, I listen, I'm bringing more of that to y'all on the Patreon channel, but I just want to give you the gist of it, because I was putting limitation on God, and he told me, he said, we can't be doing that. And I know I've said that before. I've done some videos previously where we talk about not putting limitations on God, but we got to recognize when we're doing it. And I said, oh my goodness. And because, listen, that's the other thing, dietary stress. Put limitations on God. I didn't realize I was stressing my body out. How about that? Because as soon as we did that, we removed the limitation on God. Because he told me yesterday, that's what I had to do after the live stream from yesterday. Get up here and give y'all that quick message. Okay? And so he had me run back into the store, and he said, I need you to get a few things. So let me guide your steps. I said, yes, sir. I'll let God guide my step. And he had me looking at this. He had me checking this out. He had me checking that out. And he was showing me, he said, I'm going to show you something. Ooh, I love it when God says, I'm going to show you something. I'm like, okay. And so he had me looking at the freezer section. He had me looking at a lot of the foods that I have not looked at for years because, well, yeah, I was depriving my body of those nutrients. See, remember how the devil works? He's not going to get to us directly. He's going to send the narcissist. That don't work. He wants to trick us into self-sabotaging, and that's what I was doing. I was stressing my body out by being too strict. When God says, all things are possible with me. Take them limitations off. Break them chains. He said, I'm... yeah, he gives me the daddy look. See, y'all ain't alone, man. Y'all are not alone. But we cannot put limitations on God. Oh, and the enemy loves to trick us into doing that by telling ourselves we can't do something. We can't eat that. Or we can't eat that. Or we can't drink that. Or we can't. Oh! That's why we got to change that thinking. We got to develop the can-do attitude. And just remember, nothing in excess. Everything in moderation. That's why I said just a little at a time. That's what God got me doing. He said just a little at a time. A couple of Triscuit crackers. Okay. Just a little at a time throughout the day. That's it. And so, yeah. Wholemeal bread, whole wheat bread, that's going to depend on the brand, though. This is why I'm going to tell y'all, that's what I did today. As I was comparing sodium, and I was also looking for high fructose corn syrup. And so, right, removing the restriction and keeping an open mind on food, with the exception of, hold up a second, I'm not going to do, oh no, we're done. Okay, yeah, we're done with like fast food places like McDonald's. We've been done with them for a long time. Now, I did splurge on an order of French fries when I was hotel living, but we're not doing that again because I ordered it with no salt and they put salt on it anyway. I said, well, I'm not going back. I said, I'm not going back. I said, nope. So anyway, that being said, well, yeah, it's a trick of the enemy. Wanted to try to get me to complain. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to eat them anyway. We're good. I'm just not going to go back. We don't get tricked into stepping out of character when they do that. Because it was clear on the instruction. And so anyhow, that is. So does God give us what we ask for or expect? Well, yeah, God will give us, like, if we put limitations on God, then we're going to limit ourselves. And we're going to limit our nutrition. You see? Right. And so, God, He will grant the desires of our hearts. Yes. But we cannot put limitations on Him. So that He will. And then whey protein. Whey protein is the most common. I've got rice protein. I've got pea protein. But God told me to get some whey protein this time. Even though the blood type diet says to avoid that, God said, yeah, but don't put limitations on me. Because as soon as I started getting some of the whey protein, my muscle, He said, your body's using it. He said, your body needs it. He said, your body needs all kinds of protein, vegetable protein, okay? Animal protein. He said, your body needs all of it. Don't put limitations on God. But see, here's the thing. The research done for the blood type diet, I'm not so sure that they are aware of the RF symptoms mimicking a lot of those health issues. I don't think they're aware of that. I think they're very worldly. And so that's that. Because once we understand that radio frequency poisoning symptoms mimic a lot of what the world labels as ailments and stuff, we realize, oh, and that helped us get the limitations off God too. Okay, y'all, that helps us once that sinks in. And so, as far, again, the whole wheat bread, that's going to depend on the brand. So you want to do some comparing. Yeah, absolutely. So if there, where I was at today, there's like, oh my gosh, I don't know, 10 plus different brands of bread. So I just kind of went through and did some comparing on a handful, and got the one with the lowest sodium and no high fructose corn syrup. Little Michelle wants a grilled cheese sandwich, okay? My INS. I'll go ahead and share that with y'all. But she ain't gonna get it today, because Mama wants a Philly cheesesteak. She's good with that because she don't mind that. She says she'll wait. And right, remember the Puritans who live a highly strict and limited life and closed off society, like the Amish do. And I don't know if I've ever had English fish and chips, but I'm open-minded to try. But yeah, we don't want to do that. Yep. That's funny, Chris, because I remember doing that when I was growing up. I used to do grilled cheese and tomato sandwiches all the time. But she don't want the tomatoes. She just wants the grilled cheese. Right, a lot of artisan bread with seeds and all. I mean, really, yeah. The bodybuilder's ratio of carb to protein escapes for a moment. It means higher protein, lower carb. So in other words, if you are taking in, you want to pay attention. The reason that we're still going to be a lot on the blood type diet is because it is low carb. Like brown rice is lower carb than white rice. If I stand corrected, let me know. But that's what I remember is learning about when I was starting to do weight training. And I learned that brown rice is lower in carb. Sweet potatoes are lower in carb than regular potatoes. Okay. But yeah, you definitely want to have a higher protein, lower carb thing. But you also want somewhat of a balance too. So for example, a great meal for bodybuilding would be a portion of salmon or baked, however you like it, but some a salmon, okay, and brown rice with maybe some peas and carrot mixed in, something like that, and a sweet potato. That's the ideal right there if you're going to do the high protein. And then even though brown rice and sweet potato both have carb, they're good carbs, but you've got some vegetables in there with the rice, you see? So that would be kind of like, or just a salmon on the rice and then maybe a piece of garlic toast. Okay, whole wheat, I think, is said to be lower in carb. I don't know, but I think that there are bread being made out there now for keto-friendly, lower carbs, and it's just going to take some looking. And just look at sodium count and then watch out for high fructose corn syrup. Those are really the two things. Right. Weight loss would be considered, higher protein. Remember, protein and fruits, okay? Because the juices from the fruit help to burn fat. And then weight gain would be the heavier carbs, like russet potatoes, exactly, if you need to gain weight. So you got that right. Exactly. So as we take the restrictions off, take the stress away. That's the big key right there. God said, he said, you dietary stressing, girl. Take them limitations off and you will realize, okay? Because if you keep telling yourself you can't, I need you to change that thinking. Take that limitation off of God. Yeah, steak is animal protein, yes, and also has B vitamins. So most of your animal meats have B vitamins and are great protein sources, absolutely. And so you want to remember that, we're not going to put limitations on God anymore, because doing so basically takes away from all things being possible, right? So if all things are possible with God, we have to trust and believe that. We can't have limitations on him at the same time. And so it's like, so like I said, I didn't realize I was doing that. by being a little bit too strict. Like you said, that was a good analogy. Yeah, being too strict on myself. That would put limitations on God. And he said, don't do that. He said, don't do that. The devil wants you to do that because, again, the devil doesn't want us to heal. The devil doesn't want people healing. He doesn't want people getting the nutrition that they need from the food that they eat. And we learned that, hey, you know what? That's too bad because God is in full control and he's going to show us. He said, I'm going to show you a lot of stuff. So like I was saying earlier, it was, I'm in awe because taking those restrictions off, take the limitations off God, and it just opens up a whole realm of possibilities with some exceptions. And I said, wow, I had no idea the amount of dietary stress. I mean, because I felt my head just relax. I went, oh my goodness. As I'm processing it, he had me looking in the freezer aisles and things like that. And he had me looking at one of those chicken pot pies. And I said, okay, but I'm going to have to look at the ingredients, you know. But the thing is that going forward, because I'll be able to make a lot of that stuff myself and not have added salts and sugars in there. See, that's what God's just showing me. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a lot more things that you're going to be able to make to get the nutrients that you need. You don't necessarily have to buy the store already made because a lot of sodium will be in there, okay, for a lot of that stuff. But we also have to remember that when we cook it, a lot of that sodium is going to evaporate because that's what I learned also with my forensic toxicology program is that when the temperatures are warmer, right, the metal salts will evaporate. When the temperatures are colder, the metal salts will stay intact a bit longer for us to breathe them in and stuff like that. So when we cook, if you see that there's, let's say, 450 milligrams of sodium in that per serving of whatever it is you're cooking, you can guarantee about half of that's going to cook out when you cook it. If you cook it right, because I've been watching it. Like if I do a hamburger patty or a turkey burger, I watch all that juice with all that salt, and I watch it turn color. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I make that dot connection. I said, okay. So I push that stuff away so it doesn't cook back into the food. There's a tip for somebody. Yep, that's in one of our guide, the Patreon digital product guide. That's an example of the type of information you will find, and it's valuable. That if you, when you're cooking, okay, especially a meat, an animal protein, you see that juice starting to come out, I'll get paper towels and I will get that juice out of there if necessary, depending on how much it is. Okay, so yes, we get that out so that the salt doesn't cook back in. That's key right there. Now, I don't think that putting a pinch of salt on your broccoli or vegetables or anything like that, I don't think it ruins the nutritional benefit. It depends on how much. That is what is the key, is how much. If it's too much, then yeah, it could. But it shouldn't. I mean, just in moderation, right? Remember, God, again, about excess. That's another reason why I get all that excess juice and stuff, get that salt out of there away from the meat so it doesn't, doesn't cook back in. Well, how many miles my car has? Okay, when we get into the and more part. My car, I'd have to look, but I know it's close to 180,000, but it's a 2008. So, I mean, that's not bad. It's a 2008 Honda. And I think that's where I'm at, about 180,000 miles on it. And it's 2024. So that's not bad at all. Okay, so benefit to the brain. Yes, benefit. It is a big benefit to our brain to not be too restricted with our diet, because I learned about that. I was dietary stressing myself out, and I didn't realize it. But I would tell you, it was so liberating when God revealed that to me, and just within 24 hours, huge differences in, oh my gosh, yeah, because I was putting limitations on God. And that's why he told me to get up here and tell y'all don't do that. Okay, so your mother used to put loads of salt on veggies, broccoli in particular, and you know why? Because broccoli, as I learned in my master's program for forensic toxicology, y'all remember, right up there at the top. You see that over there? Okay, the bigger degree at the top there. All right, that is my master's in forensic toxicology, and because I learned about CYP enzyme, which I'm going to teach y'all about those as well, because broccoli helps the body eliminate toxins. Yes. Broccoli helps the body eliminate toxins. So that would be why your Jezebel mother did that, because putting a bunch of salt on the broccoli kind of counteracts the nutritional benefit of broccoli, helping the body detox of the excess toxins. Eat more broccoli. And I'll tell y'all, I don't add salt to nothing. I don't add salt to nothing that I cook. I do not. And even when I order at the restaurant, I order my steak, chicken, whatever it is, with no seasoning at the restaurant, because I don't know what's in their seasoning. I don't know what it is. I make my own seasoning. You see, we're still going to do that. You see, we're still going to be on a blood type diet. It's just going to be a little different, with the exception to a few things. And we're still going to watch that sodium. But we don't want to add salt to anything. That is why she did that. Broccoli in particular, because the devil knows that broccoli. Why do you think it's in such abundance out there? You go get your Chinese takeout and you get a lot of broccoli with that, don't you? If that's what you order. Well, that's why. God is plentiful with that, because broccoli helps the body get rid of excess toxin. So yeah. Yeah, that is. They are, as long as you, I know that's off topic, but as long as we take care of the car, right, routine maintenance, oil changes, things like that, they will last for a long time. And so, putting salt on your veggies is not necessarily, it depends on how much. But if you put too much salt on something, it can counteract the nutritional benefit. The devil knows this. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why you find salt in everything. Just about. Now, I will tell y'all that finally I found corn chips with no salt added. I said, yay, because the salsa that I buy has enough in it. So I'm trying to balance that out. You see, I know I can also make my own salsa, but I haven't in a while. Other things are taking place, and the Lord's doing a new thing. And he's like, I need you to switch things up a bit too. He said, we can't get into a comfort zone, and don't put limitations on God, because God's like, I have no limitation. God said, I have no limitation. Okay, so YouTube Live seemed a little out of focus on the background wall. And the Bible verses. Okay, I don't know about that. I honestly cannot tell you. I don't know. It could be just it could be the MacBook. It could be, I don't know. It could be anything. And I'm still learning how to, because I got so used to having the HD camera. I got used to looking at the little red light on it. So I got to get used to looking at this green light. So that could be part of it. Could be me as well. But I mean, I moved my thing so y'all could see, what I was talking about. But yeah, the Bible verses. I don't, honestly, I have no clue about the focus for YouTube live stream. I don't know. But like I said, I don't know that it's YouTube, and I don't know if it's StreamYard. I mean, it could be the MacBook. I try to keep things as centered as possible. And it could be because I'm sitting lower, if you think about it. Because I'll bet you when I was standing up, it was probably in better focus. Because I'm sitting lower than those are. And I'm actually sitting on the couch. So, right. And that can make a difference as well. Because I do believe that when I stand up and stream, it's a little better. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with location-wise. But it is what it is. Right, I know. I know it's not a big deal. It shouldn't be. Because we're not seeking perfection here at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. We're not seeking perfection. But see, the other part of needing to sit down every once in a while, right, it includes ice packing. Right, good to sitting. Well, and we're going to get back to that. We will get back to that. Absolutely. In fact, God says that's what he's like, I got to get you ready. So I got to get you ready. Remember, that's how God works. When he tells us that he's getting us ready, you better believe it. So don't put limitations on him. Oh boy, let me tell you. I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm getting you ready. He's getting us ready. He's always getting his chosen ones ready for the next level. Always. Remember, God is the author of the 5 P's. And so he is planning, preparing, producing, positioning. So like he's getting us ready. He's getting us in position. And she got to get ready to receive. Right? Yeah, we better let God know we're ready to receive. And when he sees that we're ready, it's coming. So, yeah, and nothing can stop it. Because once we take the limitations off of God, that's right, and we start getting the nutrition that we need, then Colossians 2 verse 19 will happen. Well, it's going to happen anyway. It's just a matter of, there's some things that I had to discover. Remember, you all, this is a journey of self-discovery also in the spiritual awakening, in God's reality. This is not just about, this is not just about getting more of God's wisdom, but it's about us discovering things that we've been lied to since birth about, and then beyond. Because underlying causes for a lot of things is radio frequency poisoning. And the more that sinks in, and the more we understand that the metal toxicity is a real thing, and it is one of the biggest tricks of the devil with metal toxicity. That's right, to keep people under a cloud of cognitive dissonance, keep them as mind-numbed robots, the narcissist out here. They are mind-numbed robots. They don't have a clue that the world is a stage. They don't even know that the people that they are supporting are just actors wearing silicone masks. They don't know any of that. We didn't either until we went down the rabbit hole. But yeah, and it's all over TikTok. It's out there. It's not a secret. It's just a matter of who is going to understand and who's going to see it, who's going to believe it. Thank you. Okay, so the sound and quality is fine. So, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And taking back our spiritual independence. There you go. That's it right there. Take the limitations off God, and you're taking back your spiritual independence. Very much so. And so, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The video of the space station stuff is crazy, where the dude drops the playing card. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, because we learned that all of that's made up. It's all movie props, every bit of it. But so many people, we didn't know either until now, and God revealed these things, and we realized that, don't put limitations on God either when he reveals things. There's a big one right there. Because when God revealed what's really going on the world stage, you better believe that, oh. But see, here's the trick of the devil, and I want y'all to understand this. Okay, the trick of the devil is trying to get everybody to think that everything on this planet is fake, and that's not true. Remember, truth mixed with lies. God's chosen ones are not fake. Okay, we are as real as it gets. We know that we can be our authentic self unapologetically. We don't need no silicone mask. No, we get up here as we are. God's chosen one got no reason to do that unless they are called to be an actor in a movie or what have you. But see, and I think the movie Miss Doubtfire introduced us to that silicone mask. What's going on in Hollywood, right? So, chosen ones, yeah, what you see is what you get. Thank you. That's why I said that when you sign up at CHA Academy, yeah, the course is already there waiting on you. Short video lesson with PDF notes attached. Absolutely. All the stuff is already up and running. It's just waiting on you. Yeah, I'm not going to do what the narcissism side of marketing does with the pyramid scheme stuff. Get you to sign up for a free 30-minute webinar about such and such a topic, like they're supposed to reveal some tips. But no, they don't. They tell us what we want to hear. Right? Yeah. And then slap us with if you want to learn more, then you got to purchase that course for like whatever the amount is. And they never covered any of the tips in that. We don't do that. Absolutely not. When you enroll in a course at CHA Academy, what you see is what you get. Okay? The value that you get, it's there. Everything's already ready. Once you enroll, you've got access to not just the course material, but to the Academy forum, community forum. Yeah. So once you do that, so there you go. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but the thing about gravity is, the jury's still out on that one. Basically, they're just revealing, not just on TikTok. TikTok is showing a lot of stuff from the rabbit hole these days. I've noticed that. So anyhow, yeah, but not everything out here is fake. But the devil wants people to think that. That's what I see going around on TikTok as well. Is a lot of those kinds of messages that there's nothing real out here anymore. Everything's fake, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, don't fall for that. trick of the enemy. Because if you start believing that everyone and everything is fake, that could trick you into putting limitations on God. Oh, and then what about the existence? See, remember, I told y'all, you look in the mirror, you are proof of God's existence, chosen one. You are proof of God's existence. Another reason why we don't put limitations on God. Yeah. And so I had to learn another lesson. So y'all are not alone. Remember, we are on this journey together. And so, right, never seen or heard an explanation of gravity that makes, right, I haven't either. That's why the jury's still out. They don't seem to be able to properly define gravity either. No. Well, I do know because nobody can break God's firmament. So it does make us, we're questioning everything in God's reality as we purge that subconscious mind of a bunch of worldly garbage. Because we've been taught a bunch of lies. Remember, not just about ourselves, but about things of this world. And no, we are proof of God's existence, chosen one. That's why I had to tell y'all. So many people out here, they want proof of God's existence. And I'm like, well, the chosen ones are proof of God's existence. Each and every one of us. Yeah, the God is a spirit. Those who worship him must in spirit and truth. And so there's a lot out here in the world not doing that. And no, I mean, we are. There is no other way to say what the proof of God's existence is other than through us. Because it's no longer us who walk, but Christ who walks through us, right? Oh, and that's another reason why we don't put limitations on God right there too, because it's now Jesus walking through us. It ain't us walking no more. And so you put limitations on God, then you're putting limitations on, put limitations on Jesus too. And we don't want to do that either. So you got to remember that the choices we make really matter. The thoughts that we think really matter. So don't be putting limitations on God. Let go and let God, right? So I just had one more thing there, and we're not done, y'all. I'm gonna ask my Heavenly Father, if I'm putting limitations on you anywhere else, I need you to tell me so we can break those chains. That's how you do it. Talk to God. Ask him. Ask him what limitations you might be putting on him, and he will show you. And then you got to get excited when he whispers, I'm going to show you something. You better get excited because he's going to reveal. He's going to show you something. And that's going to help you de-stress. Because when you put limitations on God, you're stressing your body out. Yeah, might not be stressing your spirit, no, but you will be stressing your physical body out. Because you're trying to be too strict with something, putting limitations on God. And we don't realize when we're doing it. That's why God has to make us aware of it. Remember, it's all part of getting that heightened awareness. And if God is within us, yes, we must be. Exactly. God is within us. He is a spirit on the inside of us. And so, of course, we are proof of God's existence, chosen one. It's that simple. Maybe limitations on God in the area of our career or work. Yeah, it could be. That's why I just told y'all, ask him. Ask him where you might be putting limitations on him, and he will reveal it. Even if it's not right away, I need y'all to understand that too. Sometimes God will wait a little bit before answering. Okay, because he's got you doing something else or working out something else. Remember, working out that salvation with our Heavenly Father. Okay, so when he revealed the dietary limitations I was putting on him, because I asked him, oh gosh, like quite some time before he revealed. Okay, I need y'all to understand that too. I know it was at least a week or so, because I asked him, I said, what is with, I mean, how am I contributing to the prolongation of some stuff here? Because I said, this shouldn't be like this. I said, I know my body, and I said, this should not be, going on this long. And he waited about another week, okay, before he revealed it to me. And it was like a light bulb went on. And then I remembered reading all of the nutrients and things like that are in that particular food. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm depriving my body of things. Wow. That's how I was contributing to the prolongation of some stuff. And so now the limitations are off, and we let go and let God. Fully letting go and letting God. And it's another process in and of itself too. Absolutely. And so we don't want to be, right, okay, yeah, you don't want to be like the religious types where they're putting all kinds of rules and limitations on God all the time with those rules. And that's why we don't operate at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, CHA here. We do not operate with the spirit of religion. Jesus came to abolish religion. Remember that. Okay, remember that. He came to abolish it and to teach and preach God's spiritual truth. And we got to remember that no matter what, we have to stay with the Godhead at all times for him to reveal what he needs to reveal. I want to say thank you all to you all who may be waiting on another Truth Seeker podcast episode. Okay, we're working on it. Okay, it's just this has been a big revelation week, and that's not an excuse. We're getting to it. I just want to say thank you for your patience. Sometimes, God steps in and he has us working on other things on a particular day, but coming soon. Okay, just hang tight. There's tons of episodes. We've got over 100 episodes now available for the pre-recorded Truth Seeker podcast. And never forget the live replay that you can watch on this channel, right? Yep, CHA's Truth Seeker podcast playlist. Okay, you'll find it. There's a lot of episodes right here on this channel as well. They're videos, right? Okay, so I want y'all to, yeah. Now, I'm not going to, because, right, we got to move in silence on that. But just know it definitely had to do with narcissists. Yeah, of course. Okay, it's got to do with narcissists. Okay, and narcissism, the game of narcissism, the matrix, the things that we talk about as we are God's spiritual truth together. And so, man-made rules put limitations on God. That's it right there. Oh, gosh, yes. It doesn't mean we go out there and start breaking rules, y'all. Follow the speed limit. Don't get yourself in trouble. All right, God's not about that. But it's just the fact that, things like that, even God understands why we got to have stuff like that. Hello, got to have some sort of regulation. But talking about, primarily, the rules in religion. Yeah, those definitely put limitations on God big time. And so there you go, everybody. I just wanted to get up here and share that with you all. My own personal experience, that I was doing it and didn't know it. And so that's why God wanted me to tell you all, because some of you all put limitations on him and you might not know it. So because I didn't know I was doing that, And so it's all about that awareness. And he wanted me to bring it to your attention once again. I know not to put limitations on God, but sometimes we don't realize we're doing it. And God just needs us to stay aware of it. And so whatever it is, if you're putting limitations on God, ask him. Okay, ask him if you are, and with what. Okay, so yes, thank you, Chris. But yeah, if you were listening to CHA's Truth Seeker podcast on Google Podcast, right, they are urging you all to merge, okay, that to YouTube Music. And so it says that for the migration of that seems a bit pointless if you can't upload new podcasts. Well, I can upload. I'm not saying that I can't upload. I've got to record it. That's why I can't reveal the topic. I got to record it in order to upload it. Okay, so let me clarify that. But yeah, if you were listening to CHA's Truth Seeker podcast on Google Podcasts, no, they're no longer, right, they have merged with YouTube Music. So they're asking you to do that for those who prefer that route. Now, the direct link to RSS.com is listed in the description below for that podcast. You can also catch it that way. But yeah, I don't have to upload to YouTube Music. I upload to RSS.com, and RSS.com does it for me. Okay? Yeah, it distributes my podcast to Spotify, iHeart, YouTube Music, and more. Okay? Yeah, tune in, listen notes. Yeah, the platform does it on my behalf. It goes up, and then it puts it out there. Okay? That's how that works. Okay. All right, everybody. So let's wrap this one up there. Remember, don't put limitations on God. Okay. Ask him and he'll reveal. Like he always does. He always does. All right, everybody. So I just want you to keep on keeping on. Trauma healing, spiritual growth, while combating radio frequency for healthier living. We can do it because we're doing it. That's right. As always, sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.